Good afternoon. We're going to do a chart analysis for you with the cup and handle pattern. I am an IBD Meetup co-leader, and I love to talk about chart patterns and explain them. Now, a lot of times people say, oh, let's just memorize it and leave it at that. But if you can understand why something's happened, you don't have to memorize it. You understand it, and then you can transfer that knowledge to other things. So let's take a look at Tesla, and I kind of drew this cup and a handle pattern right here. I'd like to show you a couple of things. The stock rallied up on pretty good volume, and then it stopped up here, and it started to fall right here. And there were a couple of days with really heavy volume in here, but it fell, and then it found a stabilization area, the bottom of the cup. Here's the left side of the cup, here's the bottom of the cup. And then it turns and it starts to go up on a nice pickup in volume right there. These 2 days there, it starts to pick up and it looks great. And then it kind of falters here. Volume drops off. Take a look at this right here. As it was doing this right here, volume dropped off. It reached like an equilibrium point, and then it started to fall again. Now what I want to do is talk about from a psychological perspective, what's happening here? Let's think this through. It's going up in price and people are buying it and everybody's doing the happy dance. And that's great. Reaches here and then it starts to fall. And people sell. Who's selling? People who have a gain. Maybe some of the people who bought here. It starts to fall and it bases down here. It just settles down on less volume. It finally starts to reach an equilibrium point and it starts to go back up again. Now who's buying it? Maybe people think that it's going to make another move. They're like, I got to get in down here at the bottom. It goes up and then it starts to falter again and it starts to drop again. A couple of increasing volume days here, not super heavy, but they're selling it. Why are people selling it in here? This whole period right in here. I want you to think about it. People bought it here or here, and it went up in price, and then it fell, it bottomed, and started to go up. Some buyers came into it down here, but it runs up here, and then it starts to fall again on a pickup in volume. Who's selling here? Well, I'll tell you who else is selling. These people that bought up here, they're sitting there going, gosh, I own the stock for $386. It falls down a little over $300. By gum, if that thing goes back up near 380 something or 370 to 380 and I can get close to break even, I'm going to sell. I'm going to get out of it. It's a psychological situation. You're trying to protect your money, but more importantly, many people try to protect their ego. So it runs up there and it starts to fall again. People who maybe bought here take their profit. People who are buying up here that saw it disappear and come back near their price said, I ain't going to lose the second time. I'm getting my money out. And then it sells. But then watch this. It slowly fades down on decreasing volume. What's happening there? The last of the sellers are leaving. It's all the psychology. The people that bought in here and it ran up and it fell, they're bumming because they missed their gain. It comes back up a little higher and they said, I'm taking it this time. It pulls back through here. These are the sellers. And then it starts to go again. When it lifts off this time, I'm not saying it will, but potentially it could take off on big volume pops. Why? The last of the sellers are gone. They're out of it. And then it can take off. Here's something very interesting. Could this happen here? It's possible. I don't know the future, but it's potential. This pattern repeats itself over and over through the decades. The cup and a handle from Bill O'Neill keeps happening. I want to show you something very intriguing though. Right here, there was a downward sloping trend line. I'll draw it for you. Right in here. And it's on the 50-day, it's right on the 20-day and the 8-day. And it popped through that line on a pickup in volume. The buyers started to come into it. Then you have a quiet day, another quiet day. And then right here, taking out the old highs, look at the volume pickup. Volume, big volume pickup this day. Is it going to continue following through? We don't know the future. We just get in line with what is. The important thing is it took out this high of $370. It pushed through $370.10 a share. It took up on a pretty good pickup in volume. So you have your cup and you have a handle. And now you understand the psychology of the people who bought here, sold some here, missed it, comes back up. They're saying, I'm close to my price, I'm getting out. The last of the sellers leave. Eventually, any buyer should push it back up in price. That is the cup and a handle. I'm going to talk more about these patterns, but I want you to understand the psychology behind the investors that were in it. Some with gains, some with losses, some that had losses and said, if I get close to my price, I'm selling. There's your cup and a handle.